Hey there. So I received a question around how did I come out of postpartum depression, and so I wanted to, and anxiety as well. I wanted to talk a little bit about that. So the number one thing that I realized when I was going through it was that I had this reoccurring track in my head playing over and over again that you're not enough, you can't do anything right, this thing. I talk about it in my book, which I know better. I know better than to start live streams and not have my book near me. But anyway, it's right here. So let me grab it. Here it is. My book. Wish somebody would have told me. Okay. I wrote this book because I had gotten so many folks when I would go out and speak. I used to be with a speakers bureau, and I spoke to providers and therapists and community workers and also county workers around like depression, anxiety. And so I started talking a lot more about maternal mental health in that whole realm of just mental health, right? Because mental health is one thing, but the maternal mental health, has its own sector. So I talk a lot about kind of how I felt, what I went through, my thoughts and my beliefs in this book. And so I'm just going to read a bit of it. So there was a point in my life where I isolated myself from everyone and everything. I would sit in my room and watch reality TV shows, just sort of drifting through life. Honestly, a lot of that time is a blur because quite often with depression, a lot of your time and memory just goes out the door. It was my son, Man, who is a person who made me realize that I could no longer live this way. He came into my dark room and asked me, "Mom, why are you always so sad and angry?" I immediately attempted to cover it up. "What are you talking about? I'm happy. Don't you see me smiling?" I looked at him and the look on his face could have turned me into stone. I thought I had done an all right job walking around in my flip-flops, my orange scarf, with my hair a mess, and my breath on 100. I mean, as long as the kids were taken care of, I was fine. So breath was on 100 because I didn't brush my teeth. The look of sadness and concern and empathy he had for me was clarifying. I felt myself in that moment. I became aware. It was not my job. It was not his job to worry about me. I am his provider. At that moment, I looked in the mirror and didn't recognize who looked back at me. I had not looked at myself, really looked at myself. I mean, really looked in the mirror in a long time. I was afraid to face myself. I felt so ashamed. So as I researched it, I found that no one talked about Black women and our struggle with depression. I was determined to find out why I felt this way and why no one talked about it. And so that is a portion of the book. This is chapter 3, exposing the myth, only white women get it, feeling the fade, right? And so one of the quotes that I have in this book that I had gotten from just a bunch of quotes that were given to me from me going out and asking a question around maternal mental health is, I wish somebody would have told me that I would have to advocate for myself as part of my birth plan. Also, that plans are just that, plans. They are not set in stone. Things happen and you have to adapt. So this is from a mother of two in Seattle. So that is the book that I'm reading from. Reading from the book, I wish somebody would have told me. It is available on Amazon. You can go grab it there, or you can DM me and I will give you the link on how to purchase it. And if you want to purchase it in bulk for a community, for moms that you want to purchase it for, then just let me know and I give a discount on that as well. But I wanted to read that to you because it was an experience that brought me out of it. And your wife, significant other, your partner may not have that experience yet, right? But there's going to be something that will like, oh my gosh, and they become aware, right? We have an organization called Be Mom Aware, and that's part of the reason why we called it that, or I came up with that name, right? Be Mom Aware is about the mom being aware, but also the family around her, the community around her, being aware of what this looks like. Because it doesn't look like one singular thing to one person. It looks like something different to everyone, right? And how it presents is different for everyone. For me, like I said, it was that event that happened where my son, and it was literally just very casually, like, he came into my room one day and he just looked at me and he just like said it. And I was just like, oh my gosh. And I thought I did it. I don't know how I thought I was doing a good job when my hair was a mess and I was wearing an orange scarf and flip-flops like all the time, even when it was raining. I don't know. And I wasn't brushing my teeth or nothing. So I don't know how I thought. In my head, I thought I was like covering it up, but really everybody could see around me. Like, girl, something's wrong. So anyway, but I think that's kind of what you go through when you're going through it. You're in it, so you in it, and you just feel like you in it by yourself. So you feel like nobody can see that I'm in it. I'm just in it. Nah, sis, everybody can see you in it. They just don't know how to help you get out of it. And some of it is your awakening and your awareness to it that helps you move out of it. That you then go, oh, wait, hold up. No, there are people. That track that's playing in my head that keep going, reoccurring, that's not true. Those thoughts are not true. That what's being said to me over and over in my head is not true, right? And whether you're religious or not, I'm religious, so I'm going to tell you it here. I truly feel like it's the devil. It is definitely that entity of something trying to make you believe that you're not worthy, that you don't have something to bring into this world. That, you know, for me, it was like the sayings of people, you know, like, you got 6 kids. Oh, you know, you were mom at 17. Oh, and then I'm like, well, you broke at 30. Oh, you know, so I know how to turn it around now, but I didn't have those tools back then. Now that I have those tools, I now know how to clap back in a nice manner. But the life is life, right? And sometimes we have different things that we are chosen to do, that we are destined to go through. We are experiencing certain things in our life to help somebody else. And I didn't have that information back then. The information I have now, the information I put in this book for others, because you need someone to tell you that. You need someone to tell you, I see the value in you. You don't have to say value. You can use a different word. I see the love in you. I see the light in you. I see the grace in you. You know, thank you for being blah, 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 blah. Thank you for doing X, Y, and Z, right? And even sometimes that isn't enough, right? They also have to see it in actions. They have to also believe it in themselves that they are even worthy of receiving the compliment from you, the acknowledgement from you, right? So it is a lot of that. I would say to any person who may have a partner who may be experiencing it, and you're like, how do I help them? How do I move them? First of all, it's up to them. They have to be the person to move themselves out of it. So there's no way you can do it, but there are ways that you can make them aware of just how much that you appreciate them, and that leaving this earth should never be an option. Right. So making sure that leaving this earth is never something that they think about as an option of relieving the pain that they may be experiencing, either in their own brains, in their bodies, so on and so forth. Right. So do the best you can at supporting them. Do the best you can at leaving little books around, little pamphlets, you know, things like that, letting them know how much you appreciate them on a daily basis. Hugs are great. And what else? I'm trying to think of anything else that happened that was helpful for me during that time when I was kind of like in that space. Oh, volunteering. Getting out there and seeing that my impact could impact others aside from my family, because I already have my family pulling on me 24/7. So that's another thing. Creating boundaries. Huge one. You need to have boundaries in your around you, because takers are takers, whether it's your family or not, they will take from you. And so you have to have boundaries, and you have to know when enough is enough, right? Being involved in like gossip and having conversations about like all of that stuff is negative energy. You got to put yourself in a positive space. So if I'm speaking directly to you and you are the person that's experiencing it, put yourself in positivity. Like, go to the park, go swimming, go skating, like do stuff you used to do before you had this whole human being that you had to take care of. Do other things that make you happy, that you can, so you can experience that again, because sometimes even the happiness gets lost. You don't even know what happiness looks like anymore, because you've been so busy surviving, really, just trying to make it, just trying to make sure the bills are paid and that the kids have food to eat and that they have clothes, all the things that but also life is beautiful, right? And you need to take a moment to really appreciate the beauty of it all, right? Because it is gone in an instant. It really is. That time, wasn't it just like 2020? Now we all the way in 2024. Anywho, I can go all off on that. I'm like, we're already in 2024. So just know that if you are supporting a partner, be supportive as supportive as you can. It is their job to finally, like, they're all, well, let me say it's not their job. They are the only ones that can break themselves out of it, but you can absolutely 120% be there when they do and support them on reconnecting. We support them on that journey to getting where they need to be. Okay, so since it's saying reconnect, I guess that's my toy. That's my cue to bounce out. Let me know if you have any questions or comments down below, but make sure you go ahead and grab the book because it details pretty much everything that I went through and also some tips. If I can provide you with one of the mental health tips: connect with positive people, create a healing playlist, know your triggers, visualize, take deep breaths, and some other things that I put in here that are on this checklist. So go ahead and check it out, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.